Good evening. How are you? Welcome to the channel today. My name's Dr. Edwin Muinga, Chokwe, mental health specialist. Uh, we have time to discuss mental health. Today we're speaking in English. We've been talking in Swahili, but we shall be alternating English and Swahili. Mental health, as you know, is a very important topic currently. If you look at the whole world, there's a lot of challenges in terms of mental health. There's one singer called Bob Marley. He sang a song a long time ago, which he called Natural Mystic. Says there's a natural mystic blowing through the air. Now, this natural mystic comes across in various forms, in calamities, in mental health, in epidemics. We've just come from one epidemic of COVID. We are going into mpox and other types of epidemics. So this natural mystic, which was sung by Bob Marley, also kind of reflects about the mental health, because mental health is something spiritual. It's something you may not be able to touch most times. Sometimes you may have an area called a psychosomatic, in which case there is a physical disorder, but by and large it's a spiritual kind of change that afflicts people, and people all over the world have managed to mitigate against mental health or ill health in their own ways. The African way, we know, is through traditional medicine. In the Caribbean, there is a lot of voodooism, and in Americas, they did a lot of psychoanalysis. That's when Freud came with the concept of psychoanalysis. Now mental health is moving towards a more structured discipline in terms of knowing what is mental health, knowing the features that are affecting, knowing about the biochemistry of mental health, knowing about the neurotransmitters that are involved in psychoneurosis or mental health. So things are changing, but still, there's still a lot of people who have no idea, don't know what is happening. Therefore, we've taken this time to talk about mental health. Now, mental health and environment is another concept which is very important, because once there is a fertilization, when there is a zygote formed between the sperm and the egg, life begins at that time. It's time of conception. Now, there may be some challenges in the environment of that, of the person, of the lady, and even of the man. If those challenges that are within the system, then the child is born carrying some effects. Even later on, you may see a child who has a problem, but maybe the problem began immediately after conception. A good example is where we have had nuclear leakages, and later on, these children who are born, they have mental defects because of the challenges that were met on their mothers. Also, once there's fertilization and the zygote is formed, there is a new environment within the human body, and this environment is within the mother. And if the mother, especially during the first 3 months of conception, what we call the first trimester, if she goes through any trauma, whether it is chemical, whether it's infectious, whether it's physical, those changes can affect the baby. We shall be coming to that maybe much later on. And then during birth, if there is any damage to the brain, and especially when a child is not able to breathe quickly, is not able to cry after delivery, then there is reduced blood oxygen supply to the brain, and the brain is damaged. That child may not appear damaged, but later on they may appear with the features of mental disorder. Mental disorder also can affect your environment after delivery in your early life. You may have serious trauma or infections, especially viral infections like measles and so on. Those can affect the child, and then the mental status is affected. Later on in life, the physical changes like trauma. You know that recently there's been a lot of road traffic accidents, and there's head injury. When head injury is involved, then that person may also present with mental disorder. Or, on the other hand, the mental disorder can be out of the blue. It may not be organic. It may be what you call functional. Functional disorder is when you have a mental disease, but there's no physical attachment to it. Just a dysfunction of the neural system, especially the neurotransmitters, and this patient may present with a mental disorder. Now, in that group, you may have two types of mental disorders. You may have neurosis or psychosis. And we shall discuss the next chapter about neurosis and psychosis and what they are, so on and so forth. I think for now this is enough. We will revert, we shall discuss, we shall continue. We also tell you to contact us. My number is 0724552764. You can have a virtual consultation, and a prescription will be given if you are not able to visit me physically. All right. Have a good day. Have a good night. See you. Cheers.